Hello, everyone. My name is Keith Jackson, and welcome to Jack's Math Notebook. Today, we're going to understand how to compute compound interest, and we have two examples right here. Actually, we have one example, but we're going to use the formula in two different ways to kind of explain it even further. And so let's take a look at how we compound annually. So in that formula is A is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus R, okay, raised to the time, raised to the T. And so I'm going to explain what all these letters mean. A means the new amount. Okay, R equals rate, T equals time, and P equals the initial principal. All right, before the compound interest took place. All right, and so let's take a look at Ron, for example. Let's say that Ron puts $2,000 into an account that pays him 5% interest compounded annually. And so here's how it's going to work. And so now we don't know what A is. We don't know what the new amount will be, but we do know what the rate is, and that's 5%. And we write it as a decimal as 0.05, and the time is 5 years. And that principal is $2,000. And we're going to plug everything into this compounded annually formula. And so what we get A is equal to 2,000 times the quantity of 1.05 raised to the fifth power, because the time is raised to a power here. And if you put this into your calculator, you could just plug it into your calculator as is. You will come up with an amount known as right here, you come up with an amount of $2,552.56. That will be your new amount. That's after 5 years. Okay, let's say, well, let's plug it in. Let's try for 10 years, for example. If you plug it in into your calculator, 2,000 times 1.05 raised to the 10th power, or 10 years, your new amount will be $3,257.79. Okay, so this is the magic of compound interest, and it's something that we all should learn about. Okay, so now let's go to the second example, in which we're going to compound that same amount, $2,000, this time semi-annually. The formula changes a little bit slightly here. Okay, so now here's our new terminology. A still equals amount, R still equals rate, P equals time, P equals principal. Now we're going to interject a new term into this. N equals the number of times compounded. And semi-annually actually means compounding twice per year. All right. And so here's how we're going to look at it. So again, we have A is equal to principal. The amount is equal to the principal times the quantity of 1 plus the rate divided by the number of times compounded raised to the number of times compounded times time. All right. Now, all we have to do is we're just going to plug in those same numbers. We're going to plug in for our rate 0.05, okay, our time 5 years, and that principal 2,000, because we want to keep everything simple, and we just want to compare and contrast what happens when you compound annually versus when you compound semi-annually. And so let's go ahead and read this word problem. Ron puts $2,000 into an account that pays 5% compounded compounded interest semi-annually. And so let's plug everything into this new formula right here. And so now we have 2,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.05 divided by 2. And then since it's semi-annually, that's 2 times, right? Times 5 years. So that's going to be 10 right there. So, but before we do that, we have to do what's inside the parentheses first, if you recall PEMDAS. And so when we take 0.05 divided by 2, we're going to get 0.025, and we're going to add that back to the 1. So our new amount is going to equal to 2,000 times 1.025 raised to the 10th power. And as you can see right here, when we do that, when we raise that to the 10th power, our answer is going to be $2,560.17. All right, and so now if we look at that and compare it to this one right here, this is $2,552.56, and this is $2,560.17, almost $4 difference in a gain there, right? And so that's the difference between compounding annually and compounding semi-annually. And so let's go ahead and apply that to 10 years. All right, just like we did here, and we're going to see the difference. And so now our new amount is going to equal to 2,000 times 1.025 times 2, raised to the 2 times 10. And that would be raised to the 20th power. When you plug that in into your calculator, you will get the new amount is going to equal to 2,000 times 1.025 raised to the 20th power. And when you plug it in, your answer is going to be $3,277.23. And so as you can see right here, this is $2,357, and this is $2,377, and that's almost a $20 difference right there. All right, and so that's the difference between compounded annually and compounded semi-annually. And guess what? You've received a lot of information in a short period of time, and you have a lot of words and numbers and terms to look at. I wouldn't blame you if you need to pause the video and take a look at this chart, or replay this video as many times you need to gain a deeper understanding of compound interest. All right. With that in mind, I would like for you, please do this. Please press that like button right now. You can go ahead and comment, share, okay? And also subscribe to Jack's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you and goodbye.